Hi, this is Kim from Dorothy's Daughter. Stay tuned for a few ways to keep from losing your sojo. Hi everybody, this is Kim from Dorothy's Daughter. Today's a real personal video for me. I want to talk to you about ways we can stay creative and stay in our lane as far as our sojo goes. So I'm going to talk about that, but first, I am wearing not a me made today, unfortunately, but this is one of my Buckeye shirts because I am so thrilled that the Big Ten has voted to play this fall. I am so excited. Buckeye football, Buckeye Nation, we will be back in business at the end of October. So excited about that. So anyway, I had to wear my colors today, so I'm sure you will understand. Have you ever just gotten to a point where you just felt like you were not creative at all? Like no matter what you do, you couldn't create something that looked great. You just feel like you just were not yourself. Like maybe whatever you're doing just doesn't excite you anymore. That's kind of like losing your mojo, or in the sewing world we say sojo. So it's just, you know, that like sort of intersection between where your creativity meets your desire to do things. So I have been there a lot in my life, not so much with sewing, but I worked in a creative field for many, many years. If you don't know, I'm actually a professional photographer, retired now, but for 19 years I did wedding after wedding after wedding, over 600 weddings in my life. I had to get used to being creative on demand, and you know, sometimes it's just not that easy to conjure it up if you're not feeling it. And you know, some days you were scheduled to do something and you're just not feeling it. So I did some research back a long time ago that kind of helped me get in that groove. I'm also a worship leader, so there's also times when, you know, you have to be up front, you have to sing, you have to make music, and maybe you don't feel like it that day. I mean, everybody has days like that. These are the ways that I have learned over the years, many, many, many years of coping. My husband said if I wasn't doing something creative, I don't want to do it at all, and that's the absolute truth. I thrive on creativity. Since the moment I was born, I've done something creative. I've done some acting, singing, drawing. I play piano. I have led a worship team for over 9 years, and I had a photography business for 19 years. So as far as sewing goes, it's always been there, even with all those other things. But a lot of times, sewing used to be the thing I would escape to. Well, now it's the thing I do all the time. So I know some ways to keep my sojo, and I just thought I'd share them with you today. Because I know that especially in this time of pandemic and being stuck at home, it's really, really easy to lose track of any kind of mojo, let alone sojo. So I'm just going to give you some ways that you can stay creative. And honestly, if you don't sew and you're watching this, there's something in your life like this. So I think I can still help you. So listen up, because I think anything you do that's creative, this could apply to. First of all, let's talk about creativity. Creativity is, to me, the analogy that I've always thought of is that it's like catching a falling star. I feel like we're all creative because we're made in the image of a creative God. That's my belief. And so because we're made in the image of someone creative, we're naturally creative. I feel like maybe some people are more perhaps bent to being able to seize those opportunities, but I do think there's a creative side to every one of us. So I feel like ideas are flying all around, right? I feel like they're just out there. The little stars are just falling and falling, and you just have to learn how to catch them. And when you catch them and you make that idea go, that's when creativity meets satisfaction, and it's just a joy that doesn't really compare with any other kind of joy than creating something that you've put you into. I believe we lose our sojo because we lose our creativity, or we just don't awaken it very well. I think we get bored. I think we get uninspired. And I think one of the reasons that happens is because we get stuck in our left brain. left brain activities are math and measuring and, all those things, which we do in sewing. So it's really hard to balance that left and right brain when we're sewing because we need both, let's face it. Just like in photography, I needed both to be able to do my job. I had to be creative, but I also better know where to put those dials, That's kind of where we're at with sewing. We might need to know how to sew in that zipper or measure for that full bust adjustment or whatever we're doing. We have to do that with our left brain, but we have to do that under the umbrella of our right brain and our creativity. Sewing uses both hemispheres of our brain. So sometimes we can just get too caught up in that left brain of those tasks, those measuring how far apart to put buttons and, how do I do this adjustment and that adjustment and, and I'm just right up there with everyone else with that. But I also know that the best way to stay creative is to take care of my creative mind. So I'm going to give you 10 ways that you can stay creative. Creativity is like a muscle, and it has to be exercised. So, art, music, and dance. By taking in other forms of creativity, you are exercising that creativity, keeping it alive. And I say dance because I think kinesthetically, it's real important to have that all be part of your creative experience. And I feel like when you're listening to music, it just inspires your soul. And good music, anything that makes you excited. Art, looking at paintings, color, all the things that the masters have done. And maybe even some, maybe even it's a fashion museum exhibit of some kind. I know there's Dior exhibits and things. Even that, just accepting and appreciating art all around you. I remember designing wedding albums, and one of the things that I used to teach in my seminars when I gave them to my interns and things is that creativity, when I designed a wedding album, it was like listening to a Broadway musical. And like every page of the album was another number, another big music number. So what part of the day is this? Like there'd be a song that would go with each one of those pages if it really was a Broadway musical. So I'm not sure how that relates to sewing, but I think you see what I mean by the principle of, flow. You can listen to music and think about draping, how fabric should drape. And, it's just inspired. It's all interconnected, even if it doesn't feel like it is. By appreciating art and music and even dancing a little, let go. Just dance. So number 2 is reading. Reading conjures up the imagination. I mean, when the written word I don't know if you do what I do, but when I read fiction, I am picturing that scene down to the minutest detail. And I know, that just exercises creativity so much. So give yourself time to read. Number 3, and this is tough, but I'm just going to say, switch projects. If you're in the middle of something tough that's keeping you in your left brain, switch to something that can help you express yourself. Make a t-shirt. They go together in 2.5 hours, and you can even do something cool on them. Put some kind of saying on them, whatever. Just do something different. Switch projects just for a little while to get yourself out of that left-brained activity. Now you have to go back to it, but don't spend an entire day in something that you are learning in your left brain. When you're trying to learn a new skill, maybe do that in the beginning of your sewing day. Get that out of the way so that you can have fun. Because once you learn how to do that, it will be fun. Because the real way to learn how when you drive a car and you get into the car and you know exactly where your hands need to be, and you can reach down and you can shift your gears without really looking. I mean, maybe you might look, but you don't have to do very much. Your foot knows where to go on the brake. Your foot knows where to go on the gas. You just know what you need to do. Okay, that is how it needs to be if you hone your skills, that's how sewing can end up being, is that you know how to do it so you can just have fun. So hone your skills, but go ahead and set some of those projects aside once in a while and just do something for you. Number 4, I would say sketch. Okay, so I love my body model, and you guys have always heard me talk about it before, and I did do a video where I showed exactly how I use it, so I'm going to go ahead and link that up here and in the description. But my body model is a fantastic tool that creates your shape on a croquis, or a mannequin, a flat 2D mannequin type thing, where you can draw the patterns that you're looking at and see how they'll look on you. It's a fantastic way to play around and see what you might like to design. Maybe you just sketch. I mean, just draw something pretty on yourself and then think about how could you achieve that. So anyway, my body model is fantastic. There are croquis you can download online for sure, and you're welcome to do that. Or you can take a photo of yourself and trace your outline. That's another way. But if you are interested in my body model, I will leave a link down below in the description and a code that you can actually receive a little off. So I'm hoping that maybe some of you might really enjoy that. Number 5, play what if. Okay, so you're looking at this great new pattern. Okay, maybe it's just a real basic, but you go, well, what if I didn't put sleeves on it? What if I put a different kind of sleeve on it? What if I put ruffles on the bottom? What if I took the ruffles off? What if I, you can go on and on and on and on and on. And just play the what if game with your patterns. And maybe you'll come up with something that you really, really like. That's original and you, all you. So just do something with no restrictions. That's just for you. It's just so important to do that once in a while. So number 6, shift your life patterns. And what I mean by that is we all have our little groove. We get up, we have coffee, we watch something on TV, maybe news or something, and then we do dishes, breakfast dishes, and then we go sew, whatever that is. Maybe you could flip that around. Maybe you could, get up and take a walk and see what happens. Maybe you could walk outside. Maybe you always walk this way. Maybe you go this way and see what you see from the opposite side going around. Anything in your life that you can sort of flip around. You know what you could even do when you're making like a two-piece dress or something, and you put the bottom together and then you connect it to the top and then you hem it. How about if you put the bottom together and then you hem it? And then it's going to feel so good when you put the top and the bottom together that I already did that, So just anything you can do to sort of flip processes around. I mean, a lot of the pattern instructions, some of them, have to be done in a certain order, but some of them don't. So flip them around. So number 7 would be to just try a new surrounding. Take your sewing machine downstairs. Go out and sit on your porch and browse Pinterest and patterns and see if it's more inspiring there. If you're on a trip, take your phone or iPad or a book, a Berta magazine, whatever, and sit and look through and see what inspires you there. Go shopping with your camera. That's really fun. You don't have to spend any money just walking through, and I've never been stopped, and I do it all the time. Walk in the store and just take photos of outfits that you like. Just walk around, and you can get some really good ideas that way. Number 8 is sort of iffy, and I want to sort of give a qualifier to this one, but number 8 is mindfulness. And what I mean by that, I'm not talking about New Age meditation. Although, that if that's your thing, that's probably helpful, but it's not my thing. Prayer would be more my thing. So by mindfulness, what I really mean is, being thankful of your surroundings, being thankful for the sewing room you have, being thankful for the, sewing space you have, even if it's a corner. Be thankful of the time you have, every little thing in your life. Just take a moment and be really mindful of what you have and how much you appreciate it. And I think that really helps a lot, probably more than a lot of these other things. I think just being thankful makes you, happy to invest your time in it. So number 9 would be just to get rid of fear. I mean, really, what's going to happen if you mess up your plan of making that outfit? What's going to happen if you mess up? I mean, truly be honest with yourself. So you ruin a piece of fabric. Are you going to ruin it completely? Probably not. Most things can be picked apart and redone, or if not, you can use the fabric for something else, for a child or something. So just, fabric is just fabric. Fabric is nothing until we make it into something. So just be brave and go try that thing, because I think what you gain when you venture into something is so much more than what we would lose if we didn't. So I think it's really important to just conquer your fears. And number 10, just do it. I mean, just start. Like if you're thinking about wanting to sew and you haven't done it, you're afraid to do that first seam or do that, there's so much help out here on the internet. I'm one of thousands of sewing vloggers out there, I'm sure. I don't know if I know 1,000, but a lot. And there's got to be somebody who you relate to who can help you at whatever stage you're at. And we have Friday Sewing School. Friday Sewing School, I'm rejuvenating it. I'm sort of repackaging and rejuvenating Friday Sewing School because a lot of people have been missing it. So I'm going to bring that back. We've been doing the same tutorials. We just haven't been calling it that. But I think we're going to formally restart Friday Sewing School here real soon. So that is that's a way. I mean, there's tons of help out there, but you have to do it. Because, you just have to do it. Nobody can make that first step for you. You have to do it. So just to summarize, those falling stars, I think they're just all around us. They're in our brains, but they're all around us. There's all around us, there's just creative ideas waiting to be caught. And you'll catch yours. I know you will. Open your eyes. Reach out your hands and catch a falling star today, and I know that will cure any of your Sojo or Mojo woes. For sure. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you come back and join me again. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please click that button down below. As a close, I'm going to say happy sewing, and any other Ohioans or Buckeye fans out there from Buckeye Nation, I'm just going to say OH!